Hello everyone and welcome to my learning studio. So today we'll be moving on to our next topic, which is control flow statements. So now we've seen how there are different styles of writing, and we have gone through our data types. We have gone through most of the basics in Python. Now this is a very strong core that we are looking into today. So these are actually Python conditions and loops. Okay. So how Python makes decisions or repeats certain actions. So this is how Python becomes smarter. Okay. Python gives us a hold on our program. Okay. So now we'll see what are control flow statements. So basically today's session will be covering all the control flow statements which are iterative. Then we have our conditional and our transfer statements. Okay, within that we have all these topics that are conditions and if statements, if else if, elif and else, then ternary operator, nested if statements, pass statements and match, for loops and break statements. There are continue statements also. So all those topics we'll be covering in depth today. So here we start with what are control flow statements. Okay, so we have seen how our Python executes one statement after the other, right? In all the previous sessions that we have seen, every statement is executed by Python and it does something. Here we learn there are three ways of controlling flow. So control flow statements, the name itself tells you we can control the flow here. How do we control? So it gives you either conditional way, that means there are ways in which if you give a condition, so we have if statement, if else, nested if and chain if else. Chain if else is the same, elif. I'll go deeper into each of these statements in the next slides itself. So don't worry about it right now. Just understand that we have control over the flow. It need not be that every next statement is executed sequentially. Okay. So first is conditional statement, in which we can actually have our flow controlled, or iterative statement, that means need not that every next statement, it can go within a loop. Iterative itself means that it keeps on running in a loop, right? The code is running in the loop. Next, why and where, I'll explain it to you in the next slide. Transfer statements means now if I am going through a sequential code but I don't want to run next, or I want to go out of the loop, so break statements are used, continue statement and pass statements. Okay, so now conditional statements are like if then conditions. So you have a road on which there are two paths. If I take this path, if there is a condition on which once the decision is made, you either go left or you go right. Okay, so this is a conditional statement. Similar to that, in Python also we have conditional statement. How to implement it, we will see forward. So what do? They help your computer make decision based or rules you set. Okay. Now iterative statements. Iterative means what? If you want to do one same step continuously, you want to repeat it. Okay, you want to, it's like, see, punishment given to you, right? I will behave properly in the class 100 times. So you actually go and manually do it, right? So what Python will do, it will just loop. If we create a iterative loop, and it will, we'll say for condition for I range, in the range 1 to 101 times. So in the range 0 to 101 times, what it does, it will actually print that, and a single statement is written there, but it will print that many times, 100 times it will just print. So you need not write print I will behave properly 100 times. Okay, so that redundancy is reduced. Okay, so now so loops are like doing a core or a dance step over over and over again until you are finished. They save you from writing the exact same code on a million times. So you need not write the same code again and again and again. Okay. Next is transfer statements. These are like cheat codes for your loops. Okay, you can skip steps. You can skip the steps on certain times. You can freeze time or jump straight into the end. Okay, so now we'll move on to our next slide, which is what are Python conditions and loops. So the base conditions. Programming is like traveling on a road. I just explained to you, right? It is like you're traveling on a road and there are two paths. So your conditions, there is a box given to you. You open that box. There is some decisions to be made based on that. And if you get true, you will go left. If you get, it decides, okay, which path to take. And loop decides how many times you travel a path. Okay, so you understand the difference. Conditions will decide which path to take, and loops will decide how many times you do it. Okay, so Python uses conditions and loops to make program intelligent and repetitive tasks efficiently, right? Wherever decisions are involved, we say we are doing something intelligent, right? We are deciding on ourselves. And whenever one task, rather than doing it 100 times, what it is doing a single time but repeating it in a loop, so it is doing it efficiently. Okay, now iterative in Python. Python allows us to iterate through a given code using while and for. Okay, so here basically we have seen that iteration means repeating the process until the condition is met. Okay, so it has a start, it has do some task to check condition. If the condition is true, stop, else continue to repeat. For example, here while I is less than or equal to 5. Now initially I have said I is 1. Okay, now this should be repeated while I is less than or equal to 5. So here it will check, is I less than 1? Yes, because it is less than 5, it is 1. So yes, it is. This condition is true. So it will go and print I. So 1 is printed. Now in the very next statement, I am increasing my value of I. Okay, so I becomes 2. So next 3, 4, 5. So as soon as it is less than or equal to 5, now it will print. Here it becomes 6. So here it checks now while I is less than or equal to 6. Is it? Yes. Now the condition has become, here it is, the condition is false, right? Because I has become 6 here. So it is not less than or equal to 5. Hence it will stop. Okay. So this is how your iterative statement with while is executed and written. Similarly, for iterative statement, we can also have code block using for. Okay, so repeat, what it does, it repeats a block of code multiple times until the condition is met, right? Same way, but here what you will do, for I in your membership operator and a range. I have already told you, it's a function which gives you a sequence of numbers where you have I, start, stop and step. Okay, so where it starts, how much till where it has to go, and where, here we have one more but here it's not used. So step, sometimes we can actually go 2, 4, 6, 8 if you need to generate, then you can use your step. Okay, now so here keeping it simple, the for loop will run with I in range 1. So very first thing, 1 it will take, print I. Next 2, 3, 4, and in range, in my previous videos also I have already told you that with the range the last index number would be 6. Though we have written 6, it will take only till 5, which is the last stop minus 1, right? Iteration it will do. So here it is, it executes the block repeatedly as long as the condition is true. Hence it has gone from 1 to 5, correct? Okay. Now Python for loops. Okay, I have shown you examples and I am repeating those here also. So for loop you can actually use this over a list of list here. This is a list of fruits, right? I have already shown you lists. So how you can actually loop through the list items. So for list item in your list, so this is fruits is a list object, right? And your for fruit, this will get every element or every item in your list, correct? And in is your membership operator, we have already seen that. So what it does here, it will print fruit and it will keep on going till you reach the last index number, correct? So now next is looping through string. This also I have shown you. Since this also has a string is also a sequence of characters, you can actually loop through each and every character using your membership operator similarly, and similarly it proves one character at a time, correct? So this loop automatically visits each item in the list one by one. Okay, remember that. And since a string is a sequence of characters, so a loop can process each character individually, correct? Next, so conditional statement. Here I have shown how the condition execution is done through a flow chart. Okay, so once it starts, then you reach a condition, you check the condition. If the condition is true, you will execute this block. If the condition is false, you will execute this block. And once it is executed, either this way or this way, it goes to an end. So there is an end of the workflow. So basically here we are not going sequentially one after the other. There is one conditional statement where a decision needs to be made, and hence there is a control that we have, right, to move this side or this side, correct? So here this is an if else statement. How it works? X is equal to 10 if x mod 2 is equal to 0. So if your remainder is 0, definitely it's an even number, else you have to print that it is an odd number, correct? Now here my first value is 10, so which statement would be printed? This condition would be true, so whenever it is true, it will execute the very next statement. If it is not true, it executes odd. Okay, so if I give here 11, my print odd will be printed. Okay, so this is this block and this print odd is this block. So if condition, if this is true, if it is false, correct? So if this is true, execute print event. If it is false, else gives you, if it is false, do this. Okay, so it executes one block of code, right? And otherwise other one. Fine. So we have additionally, you have if else, or if else. So this is chain conditioning, right? You also have transfer statements. We'll look into it next. First, let me close it, the conditional statements. So as we have seen, what are conditions? Conditions are like judge, which compare two values and give a verdict. So the verdict can be either true or false. So condition evaluates if the given, whatever given value is it is evaluated, and then you give the verdict, is it true or false. It can have multiple comparative operators, okay, and then in the end it will give you a verdict if it is true or false. So all these operators we have, which are used to check the conditions, evaluate the result. Okay, next we have, so within the conditional statement, the very first one is if statement. Okay, so if acts as a security guard. If condition, then statement. If that condition is true, then only execute that statement. Okay, so here I have only an if condition. I can do this also in Python. Okay, temperature is 35. If temperature is greater than 30, then print it is hot. So only this is only an if statement. Okay, otherwise it won't print anything. So it is the statement executes a block of code only when the given condition is true. Okay, correct? So this is how your if works. Next would be else statement. So you can have if and else. Earlier we just saw if statement. This is if or else also. If the given condition is true, then execute this code. Else, otherwise do the else part. Okay. So here A is 200, B is 33. So here it is simply comparing A is B greater than A. Here B is 33. Is it greater than A? No, right? So here it will go in this. So here this if condition is false, hence it will not execute this code. It will directly go into else and print A is greater, which is true here, correct? So this is how you form your logic and you create your code. The elif statement. Now you can also have chained ifs, okay? If you can have multiple if statements. How do you do that in Python? You have if, then elif. Elif is a short form for else if. If B is greater than A, print B is greater. Elif, that means else if. Otherwise, if, again checking this condition, if this condition is true, then this should be printed. Okay. So here if you see, every statement is a conditional check here. Okay. If, else, elif and else if, else together. So first we saw if, then we saw if and else, then we saw if, elif. That is chained conditional statements. And here we see that if, elif and else. So if you have two conditions and either of them are false, then what to do? In that case you write a else statement. If this is false, elif. Again this is false, then whatever. If otherwise, print A is greater. So if you see, only three conditions are possible here, right? Either A can be greater than B, less than B, or equal to B. So in such a scenario you use this way. Okay. So this structure allows Python to evaluate multiple conditions sequentially from top to bottom as soon as one of the conditions. So here it will print one of the statements. It will execute sequentially and check the conditions and print one of these statements. Okay, and its corresponding block will be executed. So Python will, if this is true, this condition is true, then only this will be done and all the other will be skipped. Okay, the rest of the chain is skipped. So Python checks from top to bottom and executes the first try block, true block. First true block, whichever it is, it will be executed. Okay. Now nested if statements. Now nested means what? Nested means one inside the other. If you have seen, there are Russian dolls, right? One doll, once you open, there is same other doll. Then if you open the head of that doll, there is another doll, there is another doll. So this is the nested type of criteria. So similarly, Python allows us to have if statement, and within the if statement you can have multiple if statements. Okay, so here why is it used? So that we can make multiple levels of decision making. Inner conditions is checked only if the outer condition is true. Here see, age is greater than 20. Is the age greater than 20? Yes. If this is true, then it will go into the next if. So this is a nested if statement, one inside the other. So if age is greater than equal to 21, then print can enter VIP area, else print adult but not VIP. So condition that 18 above, that means it is he or she is an adult person. But should he get access to VIP area? Oh, he should get access only if he is above 21. So here the can enter VIP area only if he is greater than 21. So it's like opening one box and finding another box inside, correct? So this is nested if statements. Now multiple conditions in one line. So this is how, see, what you can do is in Python it also allows that we can have multiple conditions in one line. Multiple conditions can be changed, but ideally it is not recommended that you have a long chain. Okay, excessive chaining can reduce your readability. So now where we have ternary operators, we have seen if condition correct. Now what is ternary operator? Ternary operator is officially known as conditional expression. So you can write it in a single line, and how it is, it's a compressed form of if. Okay, so if else statement, what is the syntax? This is the value if condition is true, else value if condition is false. Okay, that means whenever the condition is true, it will give this value. For example, see here, status is equal to adult. Adult if age is greater than equal to 18. Till now what we were writing, if age is greater than equal to 18, colon, inside that we used to write our code, right? Whatever, print print adult, else print minor, correct? So here this is done in a compact way in a single line. Fine. So this is called as ternary operator, shorthand if else. So it is short and clean. It reduces your lines of code. So when to use the shorthand? Conditions, when conditions are very simple, only one line action is needed and readability improves. Okay, quick value assignments are required wherever you need a quick value assignments. And please make sure that you always prioritize code readability over shorter syntax. What we try to do, I'll make it more compact in a single line, and then that it would make a mess actually for the next person to understand also. Okay, so whenever conditions are complex, don't avoid writing shorthand. Even at times it can create logical errors also. Okay, so multiple statements, wherever multiple statements are needed, shorthand should be avoided, and your readability becomes difficult. Shorthand should be avoided. Okay, so Python, there is a match statement also which is provided by the Python, which is an alternative to multiple if statements. So here this has been introduced in Python 3.10. So now here if I have day is equal to 3 and we have a match statement, match day. So it will check case 1, case 2, case 3. Here it will go for match 3. Third one is our case, it's a Wednesday. Okay, so the match statement selects one code block based on the value. So it directly goes to that code. So what is saved here, rather than having multiple condition checks, here we have a direct switch to the statement, right? So it's like pressing a button on your remote. Directly you can trigger a different action on it, correct? So that is how match statement works. So now we have come to transfer statements. So in first transfer statements in Python, we have break, continue, pass and return. Now what this does, it alters the flow of execution. How? By transferring the control to another part of the program. Now if you see here, so there is a loop, you add a break, so it goes after the loop. Here if for example for I is in range 1 to 6, what it should print? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 should be printed here. But what this does, if I is equal to 3, that means this is comparing, right? Is I equal to 3? Then what it should do? Break. Break means it will not print, it will directly go out of the loop. So hence the output has just given 1 and 2, because after 3, break, gone out of the loop. Continue. What this does is, see, continue will be same thing for i's range 1 to 6. That means it should have printed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, correct? But here it is given I is equal to 3, continue. As soon as this condition is true, where as soon as I becomes 3, it says continue. That means don't print. Directly go to the next item in the loop. that means it goes to 4. As soon as it comes here 4, it will check this condition is false, then it will come to print statement. So this is like a, you are skipping one value here. Okay, so continue, it continues, but it will not execute the next statement. It will go to the next item in the loop. What does pass do? Pass basically, see here, if pass doesn't execute, do anything. Okay, it's just a space value, reserved space we have seen, right? Hence here range I is in range 1 to 4 means 1, 2, 3 should be executed. Even if it is 2, it will, this condition is true, it has written pass, so it has not done anything. It has printed all the values 1, 2, 3. Okay. So here next is return. Return mostly is used for our functions. So when we go work on functions, we'll go deeper into this. But return statement, what it does? It returns a value whatever is passed on by the function whenever the function is called. So here see, if definition check. So here your value parameter is getting passed. If and your parameter is 5 here. Since here you have called the function and you have passed the your parameter here, your argument becomes 5. If x is less than 0, so 5 is less than 0? No. If it is, this is not true. Hence 5 is positive. So return positive. Hence positive is printed. So this is all about your transfer statements. Okay. So I hope you have understood this. So pass, here I have again taken this pass statement in detail so that you understand that it is just an empty reserved parking spot. Okay, there is no code execution here. For example, here if you see if, elif and else. So what it does, if this condition is true, it should be negative. Elif value equals to 0, don't do anything. Else print positive. Okay. So 0 is neither positive nor negative, correct? So here this condition becomes true. Value is equal to 0. So it does nothing and it does a pass. So no output is given. So pass just acts as a placeholder. Okay. And what it does, it prevents syntax error. You won't get a syntax error that there is no statement execution after writing the elif. So you can prevent syntax errors here. Okay. So the break statement, exiting a loop earlier, I have given you one example there. So you can see here the break statement, it stops the loop and jumps out of the loop immediately. So writing the break statement at a particular position will actually change your output. For example, you see here, this is a list of fruits here, apple, banana, cherry, fruits. Now this is a membership operator. We are using the for loop to go through each item and print the items. Okay. Now as soon as you come to if fruit equals to banana, break. Okay. So here what happens is break, we have printed banana, apple. The print statement is before the break, right? As soon as it comes to banana, it will break. Now look at this code. Now fruit is equal to apple, banana, cherry. For fruit and fruits, if fruit is equal to banana, break. So first it will check apple. So apple will be printed. Next it will check banana. Yes, it's banana. So it will break here. So in this code, it will not print banana. It will go out of the loop. So just where exactly we write the break statement, that depends which code should be executed. Got it? Got these two. So different placements you will have different results. So your key takeaways, what are your key takeaways? Your conditions evaluate to true or false. If execute codes when the condition is true. Elif checks additional conditions. Else handles remaining conditions, cases, and nested if statements create multiple decision levels. Pass just acts as a placeholder. We have seen shorthand if statements, how they simplify the written decision, simple decisions. Match will offer you a cleaner multi-way branching. For loop iterates through the sequence and break exits the loop, right? So this is what we have summarized our today's session. So this is one-liner memory anchors. You can go through those and you can relate them to remember those concepts. Okay. So I have also created a Visual Studio code flow where I will go through each and every code, and then I will give you a link over this in this video so that you can go through that video also. Okay, that will be an independent video coming soon. Okay, but I will link it to this video. So that's all for today. Thankful, grateful, blessed, guys. All please remember, every expert programmer was once a beginner. So keep coding, keep building, and keep growing. Sayonara, Nyong, Khuda Hafiz. Have a great day, guys. Enjoy. Bye for now.